Get the cattle, Roger said. If we wait for the storm to end, we will be here, waiting when Daddy comes home. They put on their raincoats and rubber boots and took their switches from the side of the house. Let's race, Jean Patrick said, taking off before Roger had a chance to respond. The competition between Jean Patrick and Roger began this year, when Roger started playing football on the weekends with a small club called Inzuki, the Bees. He ran whenever he could to keep in top shape, and often he took Jean Patrick with him. He had taught Jean Patrick how to run backward, how to pump his arms, and have a good, strong kick behind him. Since they lived at the school, Papa kept the cattle with a cousin of Mama's who lived near. Jean Patrick ran, keeping to the side of the road where the mud was not so churned. Each day, he tried to make it a little farther before Roger caught him, but today was impossible. No matter what line he chose, the road swallowed his boots. Roger passed him before the red bricks of Gihundwe's walls were lost to the mist. From a distance, Jean Patrick spotted the wide arc of horns on the Inyambo steer, their father's favorite. In the blur of rain, the horns dipped and turned above the small herd like the arms of an Ntore dancer. The steer looked up, blinking his liquid black eyes as they approached. Jean Patrick placed a hand on the steer's back and felt the wet quiver of his hide. Led by the Inyambo steer, the herd shuffled into motion toward the rickety collection of poles that marked the pen. Roger made it to the gate at Gihundwe a good 10 steps in front of Jean Patrick. He stopped and took off his watch. Look, it took us 27 minutes and 35 seconds there and back. I timed it. Jean Patrick gasped for air. Mud clung to his clothes, his boots, his hands. You lie. No watch can time us. Let me have it. He took the watch, and there was the time in bold numbers, just as Roger had claimed. The smells of stewing meat, peppery and rich, came from the charcoal stove in the cookhouse. Jean Patrick and Roger stripped off their boots and raincoats and went inside. In the kitchen, a snappy soukous tune by Peppa Kali played on the radio. Jean Patrick's little sister did some kwasa-kwasa steps with Zachary in her arms. His legs dangled to her knees. Hey, Jacqueline, you dance sweet, Jean Patrick teased. Jacqueline spun around. Hey, what happened to you? Did you drown? She pointed to the dirty water that pooled by Jean Patrick and Roger's feet. Roger took Zachary from Jacqueline, and the three of them danced. Jean Patrick swung his hips the way he had seen on the videos. He was still swinging them when he heard the knock at the door, quiet at first and then louder, and still when he opened the door to 2 policemen. Mama ran into the room. Baby Clemence bundled at her back. We're so sorry to bring you this news, they said. Mama brought them tea, her back straight and tall. Clemence began to whimper, and Mama picked her up to comfort her. Zachary played with the truck on the floor as if the only difference between this afternoon and any other was that men had come to visit. There were 6 of them traveling together, the policeman said, all headmasters and prefet. The Urubahu was out of control, they always were, going too fast down the mountain with a load far too heavy for such a flimsy truck. It swerved around the corner on the wrong side and crashed head-on into the car. 2 people dead from Gihundwe, Jean Patrick's father and the Préfet de Discipline. 2 others dead and 2 badly injured. It was a miracle anyone survived, and the Urubahu driver with barely a scratch, obviously drunk. He hit a boy on a bicycle, too. The sack of potatoes he carried on the handlebars scattered across the road. The bicycle was found, but not the boy. The cliffs, too steep and dangerous to search in the rain. The policemen clucked their tongues. It was always the best of the country, Rwanda's future, that died like this. The body was in the hospital at Gitarama. With their permission, the headmaster from Gihundwe would bring him home. Mama stopped her gentle rocking. Uimana wasn't in the car? It was one of those strange occurrences, the policeman said, that revealed Ihiganza Chimana, the hand of God. At the last possible